Hi good people, Titus here for a short video on creating pins and springs in Blender using curves. Alright, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, so we got our first scene here. We're going to delete our default cube. Now when you try to add a curve, so if you do Shift A, you'll notice that your menu is going to be missing the options that we need. To get those, we just go to our edit menu and then preferences. I'll shift the window over. Under add-ons, what we're looking for is the curve extra objects. So add curve extra objects. So we'll go ahead and check that to enable it, close out. And now when we Shift A and go to curve, you'll see we have all the extra options that we needed. Scroll down to the bottom and there's a curve spiral, and we're going to do Archimedean. That'll give us a circle here. We can bring up the options menu here. I'm going to turn the steps up to 43 just so I can show you what's going on. And I'm going to give a height of 0.1. And you can kind of see it there. I think I'll leave the radius alone for now. But if you wanted the step height to increase, you can increase the turn count to do that. I'll kind of make it like that. If you're happy with the setup, then you can simply go over to your curve options on the right, and then look for the geometry tab and expand that out. Inside the geometry tab, there's an option for bevel, and that'll have your depth. If you increase the depth count, that's the thickness of your actual spring. Once you're happy with the, the size of the spring, you can go ahead and fill caps, or you can leave them open depending on what you're looking for. And then if we tab out, we have a pretty decent basic spring. You can see right here. If you wanted to expand the spring, so like scale it in the Z-axis, you'll notice when you do that, it kind of deforms the mesh. So it kind of looks like shoelaces. So maybe that's what you're going for or not. But if you wanted to expand without doing that, just go into edit mode and then scale in the Z. And then you can actually get your spring to be a little bit wider. Just like that. All right, but for another example too, let's go ahead and hide this guy and do a Shift A. We'll add a curve and another curve spiral and Archimedean. Let's bring our points or our steps down to 3. I'm going to bring our turns down to just 2. And you can see we have this nice triangle shape. Before we actually build on the thickness, let's tab over and let's right click in object mode. And you'll see the convert to mesh, which is what we want. If you're in edit mode, that option will not show up. So make sure you tab into object mode. So right click, convert, and then mesh. Now that it's mesh, we can go into edit mode, and we are going to bevel all our vertices except the endpoints. So you can see it ends here. So we're going to click on this vertex there, and we're going to bevel all the vertices except the last one. So if we hold Control and click this one here, it'll build the selection for us. And then I can just simply press Control B, and then I can press V for vertex, and that gives me my bevel. Now if I scroll my mouse wheel up, I can increase my vertex count and get a much smoother bend, which is kind of what I'm looking for. Just like that. Now we can tab out back into object mode, and we can right click on the selection, convert back to a curve. Now that it's a curve, we can go into our curve options, and on the geometry tab, under the bevel, there's a depth field, and we'll just increase that. and you can see we have a triangular sphere. Now if we go into off our mocap, our matte cap, into Studio, you can see it's flat shaded, so just right click, shade smooth. And then we can go back, and that's probably more what you're looking for. And same thing as before, if you needed to have this expanded for whatever reason, you know, just make sure you're in edit mode, and then you can scale on whatever axis you need it to be to make it thicker or wider. And then you can also, of course, make edits to the shape, just in general. So you can delete a vertex, reduce the actual positioning of it. You can select vertices, and then you can move them around to get a different shape. Kind of like that. All right, everyone. I think that's it for this video. Hopefully this technique helps you out in your projects, or at the very least improves your workflows. But thanks for watching, stay creative, and I'll see you on the next one.